the presence of love is a state of mind, and it does offer a healing balm. It offers a soothing kind of experience to grief. You know that the people around Jesus were going through a lot of grief. Even the story of Mary and Martha, and when their brother Lazarus had died, they were stricken with grief, and Jesus showed up and they were crying and they ran out to him and, Lord, if you'd only been here a little bit sooner, this could have been prevented. And and the whole story turned into a raising the dead experience in which everybody kind of gasped and looked up in the sky and everything, because it was such an out of pattern experience. Nobody expected the brother to come out in his stinking grave clothes out the sepulcher like that. Nobody expect. And when I go places, the unexpected seems to happen, but the presence of love comes through. And like Jennifer was saying, oftentimes it's just, holding someone, or when somebody's in tremendous grief and loss, they just want permission to cry and have it be okay. So I can't tell you how many times I've just shown up and just held somebody while they were sobbing, and tears down my shirt, just because at that moment, that was the best thing that love could do, was embrace as a kind of a physical expression of you're held, it's going to be okay, without the words. There wasn't much words to speak there. I think at other times, it's just, it comes through in a way that always can be the most felt and the most experienced, the way that the love can radiate. And in many cases, it's not what you say that counts, but it's just your attitude. It's almost like there's a spaciousness of non-judgment, which allows the hurt and the loss and everything to kind of come up, and to the surface even more, and be released. Now, metaphysically, I can tell you that the way this works is that the mind that believes it's separated from God, it has this belief in separation, and this ego is a death wish. So when that death wish is projected to time and space, we have dualistic concepts like birth and death. And it seems like in this world, the birth is a beginning and death is an end. Although spiritually, the deeper we go, we start to see that doesn't seem very realistic. There's something that goes beyond birth and death. So any time you are tempted to judge the world in any way, that is, looking through the lens of the death wish, including when the death wish gets projected out, including the death of a son, we'll say. And that's not really what death is. That's like the trick. People mourn the loss of a physical body, but there's something that's a mourning that's going on deeper in the mind, is the idea that the soul has bought into this ego belief system, and that's where the death is. So it did take me seemingly a number of years where I had to face this belief in death, where my grandfather, who I dearly love, went through a slow process of cancer and like a walking skeleton, and I had all my emotions come up when I would visit him in the hospital. I was facing my belief in death. Then my grandmother died, and it was a different experience. At that point, I was very calm, and she never believed that death was final. She didn't really believe in death, and we would have many conversations. When she died, when she was 99, I was just there by her side, and I felt such peace and calmness, like we were the same one, the same presence, and I could look down at the body like a shell, and it was no different for me at that point from when she was alive. I didn't have any grief, I didn't have any sense of loss. She had asked me also to speak at her funeral, so I just let her speak through me at her own funeral, so she could address all the people. And they felt it. They all started crying when she spoke through me to them at her funeral, because they loved her so dearly, and they felt her presence right there at the funeral. So, those are things that I've learned, but we can't really get into the hypothetical except to say that love extends itself